Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of BizzTalk. I'm your host, Jason Schuster from BizzTalk, and I am here with a friend of mine, Jorge Boero. How you doing, Jorge?
Very well, Jason. Thank you so much for having me in.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this for a while because you are definitely a veteran of the events industry. So I'm excited for today's topic.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, right out of college, I started working in events, and I haven't stopped since then. Already, what, 20 years? It's amazing how things have changed over this period of time.
It's true. It's true. It's changed. It's changed quite a bit. Today's topic is virtual business events, and should be focused. And getting started, Jorge, if you could tell the audience just a little bit more about that 20 years in events, and just so they can get to know know your background and kind of where your perspective on events comes from and how it's been shaped.
Well, absolutely. Well, uh, my life has been a rush. I come from a diplomatic family. My father was the ambassador of the Republic of Bolivia in the People's Republic of China. At the time when I was 18 years old, I actually graduated from high school in Beijing, right?
Wow.
Mandarin and the whole thing, it was kind of like surreal. And I wanted to look for a new experience, something really, let's say, even bordering the outrageous. And I selected Slovakia to study at university. Slovakia at that time, which was 1999, was passing through a transition from communism to being a capital republic, like from to capitalization. Uh, and I wanted to be part of that transition. So I studied organizational management at the State University in Slovakia,
Okay.
and I graduated on the top of my class with a mention in corporate conflict resolution. Right,
Wow.
right out of university, I was recruited by a company called Jacob Fleming, which was a business to business company. Right, doing events, five-star events. At that time, we used to recruit speakers over the phone and sell the events over the phone. I mean, there were no such things as social media. There were no such things as, I mean, Facebook was on diapers. It was
Right.
amazing. You had to actually go through the people over the phone and pass through 3 or 4 PAs just for you to get to the decision maker. I think it was a rush. It was really hard to do. We used to focus on pharma, oil and gas, and financial markets. Obviously, technology was not a big thing at that time neither, right?
Right.
So I worked for them for a couple of years. I became a director of sales there, and then I went solo. I independent. I start an entrepreneurial life. I created a whole bunch of companies. I end up working on capital and financial markets, and just recently, I left the event arena for quite a while to focus on capital markets, M&A activity. Uh, but that is because the whole event arena kind of like became distortionated, Um, everybody was doing events.
Right.
Everything was about to, let's say, impart knowledge, so to speak. Let's put it that way.
Right.
All of a sudden, everybody believed they were speaker material. Like everybody should be heard. And the moment that the pandemic hit the market and virtual events became a big thing, things got even worse. It was
Right.
amazing. I mean, everyone and anyone was doing virtual events, right? So the amount of, let's say, inverted commas knowledge that you had available out there, it was huge, right? And all of a sudden everybody believed that they were speakers, right? So I stopped doing events for that reason, because I couldn't really find an ecosystem or an environment that could somehow deliver the type of knowledge and the type of impact that I wanted in speakers and attendees.
Right.
And well, not long ago, we met with a few friends, and I found this amazing platform that somehow could deliver exactly what I was looking for. And there you go. I'm back in the business. I'm creating events, but this type of events promise to have a complete different sense. And as your show so very eloquently call it, it's events with a focus, right?
Okay. Excellent. Now, do you have any events coming up that you're working on right now?
We do. Actually, we have created a completely brand new company behind this. It's called JB2B Events, right?
Okay.
And these events are mainly focused on the business to business arena, is strictly for businesses, right? And it combines two very specific elements, right? Knowledge and business. uh, you know, Historically speaking, when you used to go to a business to business conference, you normally would go to a very, very beautiful hotel somewhere in Costa Rica or Bahamas, a beautiful place. And you would go for two main reasons. One, the knowledge you would get from the speakers, and two, the power of networking.
That's
You
right.
would go there to meet not only the speakers, but the attendees as well, because it was a way for you to get close to the deal makers and actually to close business. So there was an aggregated value behind those types of events. Now, thanks to BizzTalk, luckily, we have managed to create a complete three-dimensional open world arena online, right? Where
Right.
people could network and they could do business at the same time they get the knowledge from the speakers. Now, this is an event that could actually deliver the value that you are looking for as an entrepreneur, right? The
Absolutely.
event we are looking to launch on the 9th of October is called the Sales and Marketing Effectiveness, specialized in media and news outlets. Okay. Now, this event is specifically focused on those companies on the range of online media outlets, magazines, and news that are currently mid-sized to smaller size, right? Those companies
Right.
who are currently struggling to create revenue. And what we're going to do in the event is we're going to teach them how to create brand new streams of income. And we are not just going to teach them, we are going to do it for them. We're going to bring companies there at our trade show, a three-dimensional open world trade show, where they're going to be able to talk, meet, and exchange ideas with companies looking for media outlets to advertise. And we are going to create an entire ecosystem of commerce among them with a very specific tool provided by one of our sponsors called ShopType.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, and thanks for the plug, by the way. We're actually really excited to be involved in that event with you. So it'll be really cool. October 9th, guys. Put it on your calendars. Okay, now let's move on to the topic. Clearly, you have the expertise. You've been doing this for a long time. And it's funny. You talk about how conferences and events used to be at these, destination locations, and you'd go there for networking. I started off my career in sales, so I remember those conferences. And you know what? They were great. I loved meeting people. I loved the food and the scenes and everything else. But I'm getting a little bit older, and I don't like to travel as much. So I'm digging the virtual experience these days. But okay, moving into the topic. Why do events need to be more focused? Why?
Well, First of all, you gotta, people in general need to understand that knowledge without an effective use is a waste of time. I mean, like, you actually gotta do something with what you learn. Now, part of the philosophy of my companies is action means everything, right?
Right.
If you know something and you act upon it, I mean, like, you would actually get some results out of it. You will start creating, things will start moving, things will start happening, right? But no matter what you learn, if you are incapable to bring that knowledge into real action, into real things, I'm sorry, you just wasted your time, right? And this is why events should be strictly focused to those ones with the ability and the intention to use what they are learning, right? And you cannot just go and open up a broad topic that you would suppose it would appeal to everybody, because that means that it's for nobody. I look at it that way. You need to be specialized, and you need to think about the people who would benefit strictly from that type of knowledge. And this is why events should be strictly focused.
So you're saying that actually, counterintuitive, to what you might think, more specialized is probably going to result in a better and bigger audience. So event organizers aren't losing audience by narrowing the focus.
Well, most people believe, and this is something that I'm gonna, probably I'm gonna burst the bubble of a lot of event creators, but most people believe that the broader and the bigger the spectrum of people you appeal to, the more audience you're gonna have. And that is wrong. Okay, the internet is, yes, is a huge place with an enormous alternative of ways how you could channel things, but um, unless you don't have, I don't know, a very famous influential speaker with a network of thousands and thousands of followers, you are going to struggle to get people to come into an event, and more more so to pay for an event. Okay, now event organizers who actually intend to collect money from an event, they need to be able to focus on the people who will see the value behind that knowledge, right? If I am going to speak about, let's say, I don't know, health tech, if I'm going to be speaking about health tech, let's do it very specialized. Let's talk about the impact of 5G in the virtual surgeries. Okay. And those people, let's say just a bunch of hundreds who would be related to that, they will see the value of it. You will be able to collect money for putting the effort of actually creating an event like that.
Mhm.
And that is business. You are delivering a valuable piece and set of knowledge to the people who can actually use it. But if I'm going to be speaking about, hey, you know what? This is the telehealth event, and everybody who is related to health tech is invited. And guess what? Is going to charge. Is going to collect, I don't know, $5 a ticket. I can bet my career on it that you would be much more successful if you specialize the event and you collect a higher rate for those ones who see the value behind the knowledge.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, you bring up an interesting point. Do you think that the ticket price actually affects how the conference is received? Do cheaper tickets maybe uh, make it less attractive for attendees these days in this environment?
Well, let me put it this way. If you're going to go buy a car and you are expecting to pay, let's say, $20,000 for a vehicle, okay, and you see that vehicle you're looking for, but it's 1,000 bucks, what's the first thing you're going to think about it?
That is such a great analogy. What's wrong
Huh?
with it?
Yes. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong
Right?
with it? Right. Wow, that's a great analogy, Jorge. I never thought of it like that. So do you I mean, What was maybe give me an example of maybe a recent event that you attended or you put on where you got really focused, the ticket prices were a little higher, and we were able to see that kind of success. Tell us maybe about what that experience was like.
Well, without really mentioning any names, but
Sure,
the
no
last
names.
event, the last event I attend was actually it was a focusing about fundraising. It was a virtual event who took place in London. I paid £1,200 for that event, which is let's say for virtual events, it's very costly, right? I mean, you
That's
would
like
say like,
1,500
whoa,
US,
okay,
1,600
yeah,
US.
that's
That's a lot.
1500 US, correct? Okay. Now, why did I do it? Because among the list of first of all, you actually had, and this was actually rather interesting. You had an app that actually allowed you to see who was coming to the event on real time, right? The office and everything. So at the moment, since I am also involved in M&A, merge and acquisition activity, I saw that there were some really interesting people coming from some hedge funds in it, right? And I knew that I want to be there. I wanted to meet those people. So to be honest, I mean, like no disrespect for the event, but I couldn't care less about what the speaker was saying because I actually used the event to interconnect with those people, right, who
Right.
were on the same chat room. It was a Zoom call. That's amazing. It was just a plain simple Zoom call. I mean, the technology that we are proposing for our events is hundreds of miles away from what I just attended, right? And we are a fraction of that price, by the way. And and the funny thing is that I actually managed to meet these people, right?
Right.
There were some very interesting folks from Switzerland, and we managed to close some deals that they were 100x what I paid for the ticket. So that means that actually there is some value behind it. I mean, like people actually intend. You need to give it a value to what you do, right?
Right.
And you gotta deliver the value. You gotta deliver it. I mean, you gotta do what you say you're gonna do, right? And these people did it, spotless. They had a fantastic speakers. They had a great attending. We were not many, I think we were 50 or 60 people, but that's a huge success for that type of event, right?
Right.
And I had some very interesting network leads and this was at the beginning of this year. And the leads that I got from that event are still making business now. I'm still making some business out of those leads.